Head Coach Diane Fu here over at the Ready State. Here at the Ready State, we are obsessed with foot pressure. And what do I mean by foot pressure? Well, teaching an athlete how to be more midfoot. And what that means is we're looking at even pressure between that big toe, pinky toe, and heel. And by creating that tripod gives us access to not only our feet and arches, but also upstream to the rest of our system. So what's gonna happen when you have an athlete that still hasn't quite developed the awareness yet in their bodies or even applying that pressure through the foot? Well, I'm here to introduce you to a skill or a drill that I'm borrowing from my weightlifting practice that I use with my athletes to teach them how to be more center in their system. If you look here, we've got a couple, these are 5 kilo plates, but they can very easily be, 5-pound plates or something that's gonna be sturdy against the floor. And you're gonna insert this into their warm-up, right? And the idea here is it's gonna teach the athlete, whether they have awareness or not in this moment, to block their movement so that they have no choice but to be midfoot. And if they end up sliding a little too far forward or sliding a little too far back, depending on how you need to correct, they're simply gonna lose their balance or lose their center and come off the plate. And again, we're going to emphasize that, unless you know what you're doing with this drill or have done something like this before, that we're using this, layering it into their warm-up, either body weight or with an empty bar. And until they start getting into the rhythm, you're going to pull them off and allow them to continue forward with their practice for the day. Now, let's say I have an athlete that needs to learn how to be a little more midfoot and they tend to be a little heel heavy. I'm simply going to apply the plate and have them stand with their heels kind of hanging off the plate here. And as you can see, I'm pretty stable. I've got my grounding, whether I'm doing like some kind of pull, whether I'm doing some kind of squat. As I'm kind of traveling through that range of motion, if I come back and I like to shift too far back and I'm trying to correct forward, you can see that that's gonna simply kind of pull me right off the plate, right? So my idea here for my athlete would be, okay, you're gonna move straight down and up through your center, right? And you're not gonna lose your balance. Now, let's say I have an athlete I'm correcting for in the opposite direction. Now, I have an athlete that tends to be a little too far forward in the front of their feet. And I'll typically have that with some of my newer athletes. Then I'll do the same drill, but I'll go ahead and just let the front of their feet, the balls of the feet kind of hang off the floor. And what that's gonna do is if I tend to be forward heavy, that's gonna start correcting me back a little bit more, right? So that if I do come up and I like to pull like this for some reason, or squat like this, or push like this, you can see how that's gonna start to drift me forward, right? So again, the incentive is to stay on the plate and move up and down my midline. Now, take this drill, add it into your warm-up. Again, you could do it with just your body weight to build the awareness. You can do it with an empty bar or very even light percentages. Have it make sense for you, add value into your warm-up, and then leave notes in the comments on how that goes.